All right. Are we live? All right, here we go. Oh, let me just mute this one sec. All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome to the last live stream of 2021. For anyone that's watching the replay of this and wasn't able to catch this live, I do these Ask Me Anything live streams about twice a month, usually, give or take. Now, I'm not entirely sure what my new schedule will be for next year, as this was sort of like an experiment. I didn't really have any intention of becoming like a live streamer or doing this on a regular basis, but for whatever reason, it's kind of grown on me, I guess I would say, and I really enjoy it. So right now, I typically stream on Saturdays, 12 Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to catch the next one, I'll try to leave generally a date in the description section of this video so that you'll know when the next one will be. And that won't be until, I'm going to say, maybe January 8th. We'll give maybe a week or two off for Christmas and the holidays and New Year's and all that type of stuff. So now, if you haven't seen one of these live streams before, I sort of like to just get my thoughts out on just random topics and ideas that I've been thinking about recently. And then as you know, some people pile into the stream, hopefully they'll have some questions and we can kind of go from there. So this is something that is completely unprepared, off the top. There's no like specific topic or structure for any of these streams. It's sort of just like a personal challenge to myself and something that I really enjoy. So the general topic for today's stream is just going to be talking about my year and just wishing everyone Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year's, all that kind of good stuff, as this is my favorite time of the year by far. I'm someone who celebrates Christmas with my family, and the whole holiday season is just something that I thoroughly enjoy. And it kind of gives me perspective when it comes to what and who is meaningful to me. And it reinforces this idea of, you know, how important family is to me. And it's something that I genuinely think about and, you know, care about, and which is why I just love this. I love this time of year. It's just nothing better, you know, to spend time off, you know, with your parents and your siblings, cousins, or whoever, or at least hopefully you'll be able to get the time off, as unfortunately for me with my day job, I can't really book time off during Christmas, so that kind of sucks, but we still do get the two holidays. So anyway, so as I was saying, this whole live streaming thing, this was not something in the slightest that I ever thought that I'd be doing. I had no plans on, you know, becoming a streamer or any of this type of stuff. I did have like a 30-day challenge once where I tried productivity streaming on Twitch, and it was kind of cool. It was interesting. It was a challenge, and it sort of helped me focus when it came to my time management. But for whatever reason, I didn't really enjoy the Twitch platform that much. And I've always been someone who kind of resonated or was pulled towards YouTube. And I've always liked the YouTube platform in general. And then I remember once I watched this video from a big streamer on Twitch, this guy named Harris Heller, a very popular streamer. And he was talking about how he was he was moving to YouTube for streaming. And at the time, I was kind of taken back by this, because I didn't even know live streaming on YouTube was a thing. Like, I always thought that, you know, like video content and long form content was for YouTube, and then the more vertical short content was like for TikTok, and then the live streaming stuff was on Twitch. But recently, especially in this year, YouTube has stepped up big time, and they've introduced YouTube Shorts, and they've added a lot of functionality to their live streaming options. So I feel like I can kind of put all my content sort of all on YouTube in one platform. And it sort of makes it easier for people to find your stuff when it comes to exposure, but also at the same time, you're sort of putting wait, hold on, let me see. Make sure this is public. Whoops. So anyways, yeah, but you're also kind of putting all your eggs into one basket, right? One sec. I think just made this stream unlisted by mistake. Is that the notification? Oh, okay, there we go. So now it's live. Okay, I'm just gonna mute my phone. Wait, so what happened? So what happened to the first 5 minutes then? I just noticed that the privacy of the live stream was set to unlisted for some reason. Now, will it play the beginning part? I wonder. Well, I guess if you watch this after the fact, I guess you'll see the first 5 minutes. Okay, so we didn't end the year off that well with the whole live streaming stuff. Let me just double check that this is live. Okay, so I got the notification. Last stream of the year. Is it? Okay. This has like a stream health thing. Okay, looks good. All right. So anyway, so the first 5 minutes I was just talking to myself because the stream was unlisted for whatever reason. So where was I? What was I talking about? See, I have like these ideas that sort of bounce all over the place. And this is why I kind of keep this stuff for the streams, because if I make videos like this, the topics that I talk about and the tangents that I go off, it just gets too chaotic. And I'm just bouncing around all over the place and there's no continuity with the ideas and thoughts that I have. It's just so random. So that's why I usually plan out most of my videos. So actually, let's get into that. Let's get into the videos. So I've recently been experimenting with posting one regular long form type of video. I was trying once every Wednesday, and that was pretty tough to keep up with. So I've also tried experimenting with some YouTube shorts, which I didn't really like. For whatever reason, the vertical short form content, similar to TikTok and Instagram and Reels and all this stuff, it doesn't really appeal to me. Hey, Jakey, is it Saturday stream already? Yeah, man, what's up, dude? You gonna buy that lens? Buy that lens, bro. But yeah, this is the last live stream of 2021, and it's actually number 17, which I never would have thought I would have got this far with live streaming. I just thought it would be something that I would do, and then the habit would never really get developed and it would sort of just fall off. But for whatever reason, the habit of 2 live streams a month kind of stuck, and here we are. So but yeah, anyways, so getting back to content, I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do in the new year, but I'm definitely going to keep up with at least 3 standard length videos. So something around the 8-minute to 12-minute range is usually the length of content that I like to create. So I'm going to try keeping with a schedule of at least 3 videos per month. So that's an average of 10 days to work on each piece, which kind of works out good for me. Getting one done every 7 days is kind of tough, because if I don't have a weekend that's free to shoot and edit and do all that type of stuff, like if something comes up on the weekend, then it's incredibly difficult to get that video done by next Wednesday. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to keep up with the weekly uploads every Wednesday. But on the flip side of that, I figured that maybe I could throw in some YouTube shorts here and there, sort of to just try it out. I posted, let me see, I think I posted 3 shorts. Give me 1 sec. Let me look at my channel. Is it 2 or 3? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so I posted three YouTube shorts so far, and to be perfectly honest, it's not really my cup of tea. I just find that the short form, especially like the vertical style content that you can make with your smartphone, is very easy to do. It's not time consuming at all. You can kind of bang out a lot of videos all at once. So in terms of quantity, you can get a lot done. But in terms of general content quality, I find it to be very poor, because you're forced to create these 60-second segments, which at times it can be good because you can sort of get straight to the point and then talk about the key ideas that you really want to emphasize. But at the same time, especially with self-development type of stuff like what I make, I feel like the longer form content sort of plan or layout works a lot better, because you can sort of go in depth into certain ideas or concepts or things that you're thinking about, and elaborate on some ideas that you've been brainstorming, or give some well thought out explanations for why or how I choose to do things. And I feel like that is what's truly valuable in the self-development niche, is the ability to expand on ideas and not be limited to just some 60-second short attention span ADHD type of content. And I do realize that in terms of something that's maybe more trendy or more mainstream, like like all the TikTok dances, or maybe even like stuff that's related to comedy, that works perfectly for the kind of short form layout. But again, for me and the type of stuff that I make, I'm not necessarily sure if it fits in that well, but we'll see. So even though I don't really enjoy creating that type of content, I do believe that it can still be valuable. And at the same time, there's this idea out there that there is a lot of demand for YouTube Shorts, but there's not enough supply. So what that kind of means to me is that there are a lot of people that really do like watching, the short vertical type of content. As you can see with like the popularity of TikTok and Instagram Reels, it's apparent that people like there is a thirst for this type of content, right? And so when the demand for something is really high, but the supply is very limited or low, there's obviously a hole there that's missing in the market. And these types of gaps in the market is what content creators need to go after. You need to fill these holes as a content creator, right? So coming from like a business point of view, I do see the value in creating shorts. So it kind of makes sense, right? Like if there's a need in the market for something and you can add to that supply and provide content that maybe the people are looking for, then not doing that would be incredibly foolish from a business standpoint. So I think that I am going to try to keep going with shorts, but it is definitely not going to be the main priority of my channel, like whatsoever. It's probably just going to be something I do when I'm pressed for time, or maybe like a lot of stuff comes up on the weekends, or I have like an idea that pops in my mind that can be summarized, pretty well in 50 to 55 seconds. Then okay, then maybe I'll put that toward a short. Whereas the longer form content ideas and subjects that I want to talk about, I'm going to save those for my regular style of videos. And then the complete abstract ideas that I do have, and I'll save those for this live streaming stuff, so I can kind of like extrapolate on them without having some type of fear of the content being poor or wrong, right? So that's what I'm going to keep the live streams for. But right now, let me see. I have like a Excel spreadsheet that I keep, and I sort of make a plan for the type of content that I want to make in the future. So right now I have 3 YouTube shorts that I filmed. Well, this is also funny too. I filmed them all in one day. I sort of just turned on my camera and talked about 3 separate subjects, each for about, I'd say about 5 minutes or so. So I had this like 15-minute file of me just kind of rambling on about 3 different subjects. And I was like, oh, you know, my ideas weren't really well thought out or explained that well, but I was able to capitalize on the general concepts of a subject. So I was like, hey, you know, this is perfect to throw into YouTube Shorts, for example. So I took the 15-minute file, threw it into Adobe Premiere, cut it up real fast, and all of a sudden I had 3 YouTube Shorts done. And I think that's like what's very beneficial about it is if you have some type of content that doesn't really fit in with the main type of stuff you want to do, or maybe you have these highlights or short clips from one of your main videos that would work out really well as a highlight, then maybe you can kind of like chop that up and use that as a YouTube short. So again, I have no idea what I'm doing really with shorts. So this is like a beginner, beta, pure experimental phase where I'm just sort of like trying to figure it out. Kind of like how my first like 5 live streams on YouTube, again, I didn't know what I was doing. I was trying to figure out how to do this, the type of format, the length, and all these things, right? In the beginning, when you try something new, it's just so difficult and challenging. And it can get discouraging too, right? Because you feel like you're creating content that isn't very good. And that's exactly how I felt when I started doing these live streams. Because, you know, I would turn on my camera to stream live, and then all of a sudden, like, there's 0 viewers, right? And at the beginning, this was very hard for me to stay consistent with, because if you're doing like a 2-hour live stream, right, and you're streaming to 0 people, it's very hard to find incentive to keep doing that when it's obviously failing and it's not doing well, right? And what I told myself was to sort of just try to ignore that the best I could, and then just keep going and just keep pushing forward and just keep practicing, having like a conversation with myself, and not have any expectations for results. And this is sort of like a big problem with content creation that I find a lot, is that creators are creating content and they expect a certain amount of monetary gain or analytical gain from the effort they put forward. And so often, like so often, especially on YouTube, it's like all this work and effort that you put in, you get like nothing out of it. And it's really difficult and it's really discouraging. But if you can find a way to just put that aside and put that in the back of your mind and just keep going and keep creating over a longer period of time, it's going to get better. It's going to improve, right? Like, take a look at this live stream right now. When I first started, I had such a tough time keeping my train of thought going, and I had such a hard time like just talking about certain ideas that were in my mind, because I wasn't good at it, right? I wasn't good at speaking to a live audience. because even though when you watch like a YouTube video, right, so many creators, you're hiding behind your video editing software. All the mistakes and all the ums and the ahs and all the terrible takes you have, they can all just be edited out and they can all just be cut out. And you get this polished version of a human being who seems more put together and seems more articulate than they really are, if that makes any sense. So, and this applies too for when I do my podcast. Like when I do the podcast and the live stream, there's nothing for me to hide behind. There's no video editing software that I can go to. You know, there's just nothing. Like you're in the moment and you're put on the spot and you're being forced to perform. And I think that type of pressure is good. You know, I feel like that pressure is very good for human beings because you need to have adversity, right? If you never face any adversity in your life, it's like you come out on the other end frail and weak. And the same is true for content creation, right? If you never face any challenges, obstacles, and difficulties in your YouTube journey, then you're just never going to improve and get any better. And every time that I've posted a video that I hated, or maybe I misspoke, or the editing was poor, or some of the special effects I added in were really tacky, like I hated it, and it was just made me cringe. And it would drive me crazy, and I'd have these like sleepless nights where all I could think about was this YouTube video that didn't turn out in a way that I wanted it to, and it sort of like eats away at you. And that's like such a valuable lesson, you know. And that's not just content creation. This also applies to like general life, right? Like if you're struggling, for example, at like a day job, or you're struggling at school, you know, that adversity and tough times that you're going through, it's only going to make you grow and improve and get better and become stronger. And I feel like we need that constant reminder, right, of how strong you can be to overcome those tough times. And I always need that reminder to tell myself, you know, like, it sucks now, you know, it's difficult now. You might not be as successful as you want to be, but if you keep working at it, it will get better in time. So that's just my random thought that I have on that. And like even right now, like I'm at live stream 17, right? It's still not that good. You know, it's only 17. It's not like live stream number 50 or live stream number 100. Like imagine how much better you'll be with 50 more live streams under my belt. Like how much better I'm going to be a year from now, next December, like doing live stream number whatever, 40 something, right? You're just going to be exponentially better in terms of your skill set, the way you can communicate and talk to other people, and just your overall, you know, ability to perform under pressure. So it's just, you never know, right? Like if you never know if you just keep going where you're going to get to and what you're going to achieve. And unfortunately, that's like a reminder that doesn't come easy. You know, like these things, they might be easy to say, right? Like it's very easy for me to say, yeah, you know, go through the tough times and adversity is good for you and it's good to struggle, and yeah, of course. But when you do go through those periods, it's all about what do you actually do when you're put under that pressure. Because it's like that old saying, right? Talk is cheap, right? Talk is cheap. It is what type of action you take when you're put in that vice grip and you're just being squeezed and it just feels terrible and you just want to quit. And I know what that feeling is like because I've experienced that feeling many times, especially as I strive to be a content creator. And it's so easy to quit. You know, that's the easy way out. That's the path of least resistance is quitting and just giving up and just telling yourself that it's too hard. But in reality, you can keep going and it's not actually too hard. Sorry, I need some water. I always have these like long rambly thoughts. But yeah, so that's so that's what I think about the whole live streaming stuff. Another reason why I sort of do this as well is that I believe that in the future, live streaming is only going to get more popular. Now, like when you think about YouTube and content creation in general, it's still fairly recent, right? Like when was YouTube made? 15 years ago? And even just 10 years ago, I don't even think TikTok even existed, or some of these platforms don't even exist. Like even now, by 2025, there might be some brand new platforms out there that no one even thought of, or they might not even be in development yet. But I think that in the future, there's going to be more need for streaming, or not, maybe not need is the right word. There's going to be more desire for streaming. And this opinion might be a little bit biased because I'm someone that really enjoys YouTube as a platform, but I feel like a lot of stuff Heller says about Twitch dying and YouTube taking over the streaming industry could be true, because YouTube, they're doing a lot of things behind the scenes, kind of giving creators more power, giving creators the ability to have that applause. I think it's an applause button where you can sort of like donate to the creator of a certain video, if you really enjoy their video, and then they they put like a certain color on your name and your comment in the section below so it sort of stands out. And then even with the live streams, they sort of added these super chats and super stickers. Haven't really looked deep into it, but I think it's very similar to like the Twitch bits and the Twitch subs, where you can kind of pay one of your favorite creators who's streaming with like a super chat, and then the message that you write in the live stream, it gets like highlighted in a color based on how much you donate or whatever. And then there's all this like functionality that YouTube is adding in. And I feel like in the near future, whether that's 1 year, 2 year, even 5 years, YouTube has the potential to be the big player in the streaming platform, especially with the way that Twitch works. And this is another reason why I don't know, like I didn't really enjoy Twitch, because there's no like, I found it very strange because there's no like discoverability, or it feels like there's no algorithm on Twitch. Whenever I'd go onto Twitch, you would click a game, right? And then you would only see like the big time streamers that are streaming. Guys like what's his name? Ludwig or Shroud or whatever, one of those guys, right? They're always at the top. And I always found it incredibly difficult to find streamers that were kind of just starting out or in that middle ground. Whereas YouTube, you sort of get recommended a wide variety of videos in the suggested and the homepage. And I think that's very beneficial to creators. Like there has to be some form of discoverability for content creators, especially new content creators, because this is a problem when a platform is top heavy, is that if you don't incentivize or if you don't find a way to make new creators successful, or if you don't find a way to give them exposure, then how are you going to cultivate that new community to the future? Because no one's going to stream forever, right? Like you might be a top streamer right now streaming to thousands of people, but how long is that going to last, right? Maybe that person is going to move on to something else, or maybe they're going to get sick of streaming. So you have to find a way to create a system that incentivizes more content creators to, to start out on the platform. And this is where I think YouTube does a really good job at, is they give new creators an option. I mean, not an option. They give them like a chance to be discovered, because we've all seen this before. We've seen like specific YouTube content creators, all of a sudden they go viral, right? And then they amass this huge following out of nowhere, and it could be a channel that was just created 6 months ago. And knowing that there is that potential to be discovered, and knowing that there's a potential to grow, right, because of the algorithms that YouTube has in place, or the discoverability that they have, it really incentivizes new creators to join, right, and try to be a content creator. Whereas Twitch, and again, maybe this is just ignorant, but I don't know how any of their platform works. Like the way that I found new creators, I would have to click a game. So say, for example, what was really popular? Among Us, right? That spy imposter game or whatever it was. That game was super popular. And to find a new content or a new streamer streaming Among Us, you'd have to click the game and you'd have to scroll down and keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and get to like the people that have like 0 viewers or 1 viewer or 10. And I found it really difficult to kind of get to those people, whereas Twitch is always pushing the top 1% of 1%, and that's why it's so top heavy, right? Where I find that if you were someone that started on the Twitch platform, you know, like in 2011, 2012, you know, in the early days, then yeah, you know, it's great now to be a Twitch streamer, because, you know, you started in the good days. But imagine starting today. Like I don't even know how you would do it. And of course there's exceptions, right? There's always exceptions to every rule, like that guy Ludwig, who started a couple years ago, and then right away he was like instantaneously successful. But I think that was because he was so good as a streamer, and he was so good in terms of his entertainment and value that he gave out as streaming, that he was undeniable. You know, that guy was just, his skill, it was undeniable. So I felt like he was going to be successful no matter what he did. And you can tell by now, like his YouTube channel and his stream is like, I don't know, millions of people, and he sets all these crazy records. But whatever the case, yeah, I just don't have faith in the Twitch platform. I don't know. I find it very strange. And another streaming platform that is surprisingly good too is Facebook, especially with like the whole Facebook gaming stuff. At first I thought about streaming to Facebook, because they had this thing where Zuckerberg said something like, for the next 2 years, all of the monetization money and ad revenue that their creators were generating would be 100% towards the content creator. Whereas YouTube, on the other hand, they take like 30% or something, and then the AdSense on my normal videos, I think they take 45%. So YouTube does take a big cut, but I do think that big cut is warranted, because the value that the platform gives to new creators is just so amazing. It's just it's so beneficial, you know, to start your career off, or to get discovered, you know, or just do something that you love to do. That I feel like that 55-45 revenue split that YouTube does have with, you know, the ads, the ad companies, you know, I think it's pretty fair. Of course, people are greedy, right? They always want more. You know, if there is a way they could make the 55-45 a 60-40 or a 65-35, like, of course, who wouldn't want that, right? Everyone always wants more. But I think the way it's set up, it's pretty fair, I guess I would say, in terms of ad revenue. But I think the 70-30 split for like the super chats and the tipping and the applause, I think that's a little rough, because knowing that, say if I tip I don't know, like $10 to a creator I really like, knowing that he only probably gets like 6 or 7 of that and YouTube is taking 3 or 4, I don't know. I don't feel that good about it. Maybe I'll feel less inclined, to tip that creator that I really like or hit that applause button. But I don't know. It's just something that that I've just been thinking about. Hey, Omkar, what's up, bro? Oh, is that a dab emoji? What's going on, man? How you doing? Sorry, I'm sitting all crooked. I'm all twisted here. I was deep in thought, talking to myself in the camera, talking about this idea of if should I stream on Twitch or should I stream on YouTube, and I have confidence in the YouTube platform. I think that YouTube has big plans on the horizon. I think especially with this integration of YouTube Shorts, it's like they already monopolize the video scene, but I feel like whenever something new comes out, like the Instagram stories or Snapchat or the vertical TikTok videos, like YouTube always tries to jump in too. And I think that's a good mindset to have, because they're open-minded to other avenues of content creation and not just staying in their lane, like they always try to grab a piece of something. YouTube is booming. Yeah, exactly. It's like it's this mindset they have where like YouTube could easily just be like, we're number one, we're the best video content platform in the world, everyone knows YouTube, everyone goes here, why should we ever change or adapt? We monopolize everything. But I think the correct mindset is to be like, oh, hey, maybe people like this 60-second short vertical content now because everyone has a cell phone, so why don't we try it too? Or hey, all these people enjoy Twitch streams and people that are gaming on Twitch, so why don't we join in on the live streaming platform? And that's what I like. I like it when a company that I'm invested in, they're open to new ideas and they're open-minded in terms of trying out new things. And look, like maybe YouTube Shorts fails or doesn't work, or maybe this whole live streaming stuff doesn't work, but at least they tried. Because if you never try, you never have that possibility of it exceeding, and you never know, right? So that's why I'm pretty invested in the whole YouTube thing, and I'm trying to keep everything here. I don't think I'm going to be streaming on any other platforms anytime soon, and I'll probably just keep going here on the YouTube platform. So that's something that I do enjoy, even though the whole YouTube short stuff, it's very buggy right now because it doesn't really integrate well with my other content that I have. So I'm sure they're still trying to figure that out because the YouTube Shorts is still in the beta. But I don't know. It's it's tough, right? Because like when you think about social media and content creation, everything is trending towards this vertical format on our phones, right? So, and you can tell by the huge popularity of TikTok and how big it's become. And I like that YouTube is at least kind of jumping on that and giving us an option. So I have made a couple of shorts. To be perfectly honest, I don't like them. I just don't like the short form content at all. It just feels too ADHD, short attention span, like really low quality content. But the benefit is that you can produce a lot of it a lot easier and quicker. So that's kind of cool. But hey, John, what's up, dude? I agree about trying new things. I also think there's a fine art to not just being a copycat platform. Yeah, it's like a tough line to walk on, right? Yeah, copycat platform, that's like all those like Chinese companies, right? They're big on just being copycats, right? I like that, I like that YouTube gives us like the ability to try out shorts or live streams and all this stuff. Or else I would have to do this live streaming stuff on Twitch, which I didn't like at all. I just never liked Twitch for whatever reason, and I don't want to do this on Facebook either, because also you're adding another bridge that your audience has to cross to get there. Whereas if you could leave streaming on YouTube, then that notification will go out to all your subscribers or whoever of your subscribers that hits the bell. Then they'll know that you're live. Whereas if I had to go live on Facebook, like, what would I have to do? Like, make a community post on YouTube saying, "Oh, hey, come over here to Facebook and you can watch me stream." And that's like, it's just like another step of inconvenience that you're giving to your audience that I don't think it's worth it. So, what's your plans for Christmas? Oh, okay. So I had big plans for Christmas, like in terms of like family. But this whole Omicron variant stuff it's really bad here in Canada right now, and Canada is super liberal. Canada is super strict with lockdown rules and stuff. And the other day they just imposed like huge bans on gatherings. I think stadiums and venues are at 50% capacity, and personal gatherings are limited to 10 people. So this Christmas, probably on the 24th, I do have to work, unfortunately, on the 24th. But on Friday night, I'm probably going to go visit my parents in their cottage up north, which will be super nice, with my brother and his girlfriend. So that's going to be my mom, my dad, me, Tina, my daughter, my brother, and his girlfriend. So it'll be 7 of us, so we'll be under the 10 people limit. And we'll probably spend a good 5 days relaxing, and I'm definitely going to bring my camera because my parents' cottage is like B-roll heaven. There's just like so many amazing things that I can shoot with my camera. It's just, I can't resist, even though it's kind of nice to get away. Hey, Batiste, I'm late. Goddamn Windows update. No worries, dude. I kind of screwed up with the live stream. I had it on unlisted for a while, and I was just like talking to myself, struggling. The bridge is a great point. Yeah, it's like, well, you know what I mean, John. Like, what if you started streaming? Like, I know you post a lot of stuff on Instagram, but like, what if all of a sudden you start streaming stuff on Facebook? Then you gotta like tell your YouTube audience, hey, go to Facebook, and then you gotta put up like a chat. What do you call those? That's not a snap. Like a snap on your Instagram telling people to go to Facebook. Like, it's just annoying, right? The less friction, the better. Could you DM and explain the audio issue you noticed on my channel, or you can address it here? I don't want to affect your flow. Happy holidays, brother. Oh yeah, dude. So I listen to all my YouTube, not my YouTube videos. I listen to YouTube always with my headphones in, right? And I was watching a bunch of videos and everything was playing fine. And I watched your video today, and right off the beginning, your voiceover was only in my left ear, and then the music that you had playing was in my right ear. So at first I thought, okay, maybe like my headphone connection and the aux port was loose, because sometimes when like the auxiliary connection is loose, you lose audio in one side. So I double checked my headphone jack and it was fine, and I watched a couple other YouTube videos just to see if something was wrong on my end, and audio was all playing normal. But when I watch your video, it's just your voiceover is only in the left side, and your music was in the right side. So I was wondering, like, you don't use Adobe, you use DaVinci Resolve, right? But in the editing, you can kind of swap audios to tracks. So I don't know if that was like intentional or it just kind of bugged out, because I was trying to see, like, on my end, was something wrong with my computer or something, like was some settings off. But I don't know, when I was clicking other videos, the audio seems fine, but specifically on that one video of yours, I don't know why the audio goes into my left. Again, like I'm not entirely sure what's going on. I figured I'd just let you know. Because at first I thought it was like kind of a unique effect, but yeah, I should have checked your other videos too. Actually, no, when I watch your other videos, they're all fine. So who knows? After the live stream, I'll double check. Maybe just my computer bugged out, and I'll send you a message on Instagram. I need some water. So anyways, oh yeah, happy holidays too. Enjoy the time with the family and the kids and all that. What else was it? What were we talking about before that? Going up north. Oh yeah, going up north for my parents for Christmas. I could hear on both sides in my beats. It was the first time I recorded with an external audio recorder. First time. Did you use like one of those like H1 recorders or whatever? What do you call those things? I could hear on both sides of my beats. Yeah, I don't know. You know what? Let me I'm gonna pause this. I'm like super interested right now. Okay, I'm gonna go John Kuhn on YouTube. Our boy. All right, here we go. Mr. Broccoli Mouth. I'm gonna play this. Is this audio gonna play on the stream?
Things, and then you think to yourself, I want to do something amazing too.
Yeah,
I want to be great. I want to run a marathon. Maybe I want to write a...
Yeah, your voice is only in my left ear. Yeah. Like the first 15 seconds, your voice is only in my left ear, and then the music's in my right. Oh, the H6N, that's pretty dope. I want to get one of those recorders. I wasn't sure if I needed the one that has like 4 inputs or if just 2 is good enough, because right now for my podcast I usually do everything online, so that's pretty easy. But I've had a couple podcasts where people wanted to do it in person, and I couldn't find a way to do it well with my camera and just like the microphone, and I wanted like a kind of like a minimalist setup where I have one of those external recorders, maybe just with 2 inputs and just 2 very basic microphones that we could use. So I've been looking into one of those. I'm not sure which I want to get yet, but the H6N, is that the one with 4 inputs? These things are expensive too. What do you call it? The H6N Zoom? See, so for me, this is even the right one. 4 XLR inputs. Yeah, that's dope, dude. That's pretty sweet. For me, $459 Canadian. Ugh. The Canadian dollar sucks so bad. Dang, wonder what the fuck I did. I got the H6 for live pod. Yeah, see, that's like client work, interviews, live podcasts. Man, it's probably so nice having one of those things. It's definitely on my list of things that I want to get. But I think I've been hesitant to buy one because I've been struggling with even finding people to get on my podcast. For whatever reason, I've asked so many like content creators on YouTube that I found interesting, regardless of their subscriber count. Like, I don't really care, like, number is just a number, right? And so often, like, I get people that say yes, or they don't reply, or they say yes and then they kind of ghost me. There's no like sense of urgency with some of these content creators I'm trying to talk to and promote. I find it so difficult to get more than one guest per month. So maybe once I find more people to talk to, then I can justify purchasing something like that. 4 XLR inputs and then 2 mics on the top for fill recording. What's that? You can also use a field recorder for your 3.5. Oh, that's pretty sweet. That's so good. Like, I was thinking maybe I just get a cheaper one with 2 inputs, and just use it, and maybe get kind of like 2 cheaper mics, or maybe like the Rode, what's that mic called? Podcaster mic, like that super affordable microphone. I was thinking just getting something super minimalistic, something super small that I can sort of just throw in my bag, and kind of just grab my camera and my cheap tripod and just set it up real quick. I think that's what I was thinking for mine. So I don't know if I'm ever going to have more than 2 people on, but field recording. Yeah, I don't know. Something I gotta figure out in the new year. I definitely want to do more. I want to do more of everything. See, this is my problem, you know? Like, I want to make more YouTube videos. I want to make more YouTube shorts. I want to do more live streams. I want to do more podcasts. Like, there's so much stuff that I want to do. It's so hard finding the time. And also, like, right now I'm working on a website. I'm working on a newsletter. So that's another thing that I want to do. I've been trying to have this, I don't know why, I have this like stupid goal of January 1st, like having my website go live and starting my newsletter. But like, I don't know why I need such an arbitrary date of January in the new year just to submit it. Like, I should just get it done now and then just put it out there. And because I have this stupid deadline of January 1st in the new year, it's given me time to procrastinate and sort of like leave the website for later. Whereas if I made like a harder deadline now, I could probably get it done in by the end of the week if I wanted to. But yeah, man, it's just like so many things I want to do, so many ideas I want to explore and topics I want to talk about. It's just so difficult finding the time to, you know, put it all together and get better at. And it's tough because I know, especially as like a content creator, you should like niche down, right? And kind of focus on one thing and kind of grind that sword or grind that axe as like a samurai sword until it gets razor sharp, until you become super proficient at that one thing, and then, you know, explore into other topics or ideas. Whereas I'm trying to do everything all at once. And sometimes I wonder if, you know, do I need to take a step back? But at the same time, 2 live streams a month and 1 podcast a month is like nothing. I feel like that's not that much. Personally, I view purchases like that as an investment. I know I'll have my H6 for a decade plus. Better to spend more for quality up front than to cut corners and try to resell and then upgrade. Yeah, that's a good point. Because then you're sort of future proofing yourself, right? Like, say if I get like the Zoom H1 or one of those like cheaper ones, right? Like, what if the podcast gets to a point where, oh, maybe I do have an opportunity to have 3 or 4 people on, and then I'm stuck, and then I have to go out and buy that, you know, Zoom H6 anyway, right? And then now by then it's probably going to cost even more. Whereas if I just stopped being cheap and bought something of high quality in the first place, maybe it'd be more beneficial. So yeah, I don't know, lots to think about, you know. So lots to do, because I had that problem with camera gear. You know, I bought a lot of cheap camera gear and cheap lenses in the beginning, and it wasn't until I started buying like the better quality stuff that, oh man, it's just so good. Like, even this lens that I'm using now, I bought bought the new Tamron super wide lens. It's just, it's so nice, and it just beats all the other cheaper stuff that I have. Hey, Batiste, I need 30-hour days. Yeah, bro. Yeah, we all need those. How's how's school? How's school doing, dude? How's the studying and all that? What were you doing again? You were studying like management. It was like a specific kind of management that I've never heard of before. I found it super interesting. Wow, you told me, and I can't remember. Sorry, Batiste. Forgot, dude. But anyways, yeah. How's school going? Much respect for doing all that. That's something that I don't know that I couldn't do. School and university, it just wasn't for me. I just that's it. Business unit management. See, it was like when I heard that, it was so strange. Business unit management. Business unit managers are typically responsible for the space and equipment needs and the self-service requirements for the business unit. Unit managers are typically the customer of the workplace management team, establishing services and service level agreements, SLAs, and workplace service providers. Oh yeah, then we looked up the last live stream. We looked up like the typical salary for a business unit manager, and it was wild, dude. It was like $150,000 starting or something. Work is so intense where I work for my studies, but damn, the first paycheck was good. Oh, dude, nice. That's always good, man. You know, that's always good when you can finally get compensated for doing work in your field. You know, so many of my friends that have these high levels of education, whether it's degrees or master's degrees or like whatever, they always end up doing work that's not even related to their field, which is just blows my mind sometimes, that for whatever reason this school system that we've decided that costs you 40, 50, or even like $100,000 ends you up with a job that's not even related to your field of study. So anytime you can work in your field that you're becoming proficient in and studying, then and you can make money, like make good money off of it, all the better, dude. Super happy for you. That's awesome. I always wondered, like, what would have happened if I finished university? Where would I be right now? I always think about that, you know? I always wonder, would I just be like some regular dude just slugging it out in a cubicle, like from working 9 to 5, driving on the highway, stuck in traffic every day, developing like a road rage problem, you know, and like anger issues? Like, is that who I would have become instead of this like hippie person that I've become now? I always wonder, you know. It's so interesting, like the choices you make in life, like where they lead you to, because you can't go back and change any of those decisions, right? But I always find it interesting, you know, to think about the what if, right? Like, what if I did finish an engineering degree, or like what if I became a computer programmer or something? Like, what would I be doing right now? Would I be doing this YouTube stuff? Would I have discovered videography and cameras? I don't even know, right? Like, I don't even know where that path would have led me. So why is sorry, I'm in Google. Wow, my phone just said, sorry, I can only find vaccinations in the United States. What the heck? Anyway, me talking activated my Google on my phone to search, and it was searching for vaccinations. Okay, that's it's not a subject that I'm interested in talking about. I always wonder what would happen if I was not kicked out of the army for medical reasons. At this time, I didn't have a plan B. Oh, really? You were in the French army? Is that like a requirement for your citizens, or was going in the army? Was that a choice? That's super interesting, dude. You got kicked out of the army for medical reasons. Huh. Yeah, you got to tell me the story. I'm super intrigued. I always find like people that join the army, like all the respect, in the world to sacrifice your health and well-being for the freedom of your country, right? Like huge respect and props to anyone that's in the military. But what I find super interesting about the army is places like South Korea, where they make it like mandatory regardless of who you are. Like you could be that guy Chan Sung Jung in the UFC, like a UFC fighter. Nope, you have to go to the military. Or you could be what's that guy's name? Jaedong, that professional StarCraft player, one of the greatest of all time. No, you have to go to the military because it's mandatory for everyone, regardless of who you are or what your celebrity is. I find that super interesting as well. No, it was voluntary. Oh, dude, that's awesome. So you're one of those beasts, bro. You're a beast. I love it. Wait, so it's like the army something you enrolled in after high school? High school? Was that the decision? But dang, you got kicked out for medical reasons. Shoot. Yeah, in Canada it's all voluntary. I always thought about like not enlisting or enrolling, but just maybe I wish there was like something you could do like to support like the troops here. And it's not as big of a thing like in the US. Like the US is very military favored, even though like after they get out there's a lot of issues, but I feel like in Canada we don't really talk about our military that much, probably because it's not that prestigious. So I was in the French army for 1.5 years. I have asthma, but it wasn't an issue for me. But one day they made me pass a test and the numbers weren't high enough. Oh wow. Well, you have asthma. I know what that's like. I used to have asthma when I was a kid. Do you have those like puffers? I don't know what you call it. It's like this little thing that I don't know what it does. It shoots out some type of medicine and you have to like inhale it into your lungs. You ever have one of those? I used to have that when I was a kid because I'd play a lot of sports, and whenever I'd have an asthmatic attack, I'd have to always have one of those puffers with me. But luckily for me, I kind of grew out of my asthma, which is very strange. Because I always thought that like asthma was something that you either had and it kind of stayed with you, but as I got older, it sort of went away. Like, what is asthma? I'm super interested. Asthma is a disease that affects your lungs. It is one of the most common long-term diseases of children, but adults can have asthma too. Asthma causes wheezing, breathlessness. That's a tough word to say. Breathlessness, chest tightness, and coughing at night or early in the morning. The main cause of asthma is exposure to various irritants and substances that trigger allergies or allergens that can trigger signs and symptoms of asthma. Asthma triggers are different from person to person and can include airborne allergens such as pollen dust, mites, mold spores, pet dander, or particles of cockroach waste. Oh, that's so bizarre. So, allergens trigger symptoms of asthma. That's interesting because I have so many allergies. Pollen, I don't know if I'm allergic to pollen, but dust, mold, and pet dander for sure I'm allergic to. Strange. Off topic, but relevant to this stream, audio pan was on in DaVinci Resolve, and it seems like it's a default setting right now. I could hear myself in both sides of my headphones, but I was very quieter on the right side. When I turned off audio pan, it fixed the problem. I don't know if this this could be true too, but like in one of these mics that I have, I don't know if this is gonna be retarded. Can I put this in here? Sorry. Anyways, I have a Rode, John. I have a Rode NTG shotgun mic, and it has like a setting on it where it lets me record. It uses like the left audio input and the right, kind of like I don't know what you call it, but it records two audio tracks in one recording. Like I don't know if this happened to you, but this happened to me once, where all my like voiceover would be like on the left track, and the other audio it recorded was on the right. So I don't know if that's related to what happened to your stuff, but for me it happened before where again, this is like common with like more sophisticated expensive mics, like the Rode NTG is a pretty expensive mic, but it had this setting that I was using. I didn't know how to use it at first, where it would enable both audio left and right tracks separately and record them in different ways. So maybe that's something similar with your audio pan. See, I don't use DaVinci Resolve, so you could hear yourself both sides of the headphones. I was quieter on the right side. Audio pan. And you grew out of asthma. Yeah, me too. Both grew out of asthma, bro. That's asthma was horrible, dude, especially for sports. Like I love playing basketball, and it was just terrible thing to have. It's just it's the worst. Let's see. It was mandatory in France. A military service of my father was voluntary, and yes, I wanted to join the army right after the last exam of the French in high school. Oh, that's cool. Hey, that's respect, Batiste. A lot of respect for anyone that goes into the military. I always have huge support, you know, for those people, and you shouldn't take it lightly too, you know. Like obviously you want to support the troops, right, and support the people you know, that fight wars and fight for our freedoms, and it's super important, right? It's another thing that I try to remind myself from time to time to be grateful for, you know, like especially in North America, and like be grateful for these freedoms that we have, you know, because people are out there willing to risk their lives, you know, for the freedom of others. And I always I always love hearing anything related to the military. I'm hopping off. Talk to you later, man. I'm taking my kids to the airport. Hey, have a good day, John. Take it easy, bro. Safe travels to the airport, dude. Talk to you later. And thanks for coming by. Always great chatting. But yeah, the asthma thing is strange. Wow, I can't believe allergens is what causes that. Huh. Super interesting. Okay, so what else were we talking about? Oh yeah, Batiste, Mr. Military over here. Impressive, man. So you're gonna be a business unit manager that got kicked out of the army for asthma. It's gonna be a super interesting story to tell one day. let's see. Okay, sorry, I just wanna. I have all these like wild tabs open of all this stuff that I'm searching for. Give me a sec. Okay. My first, what does that say? My first was when I was young, before I discovered that I had eye problems, was to join the Foreign Legion. Wow, what's going on? Eye problems, like glasses, like basic. You sound like me, dude. You sound You sound exactly like me. I had like asthma. I still have bad eyes. I just don't wear my glasses usually when I'm on stream. But whenever I'm reading, I'm always wearing glasses. Whenever I'm driving, wear my glasses, especially at night. But you were to join the Foreign Legion. What is that? Sounds super interesting. And this is what I like, about talking to people and friends online, especially about like differences in culture. Like if I never did this live stream, I would never get to talk to Baptiste about like what life is like in France and what's going on, or even talking to Forrest when she's here, and life in like Kosovo and Eastern Europe. It's just super cool, using the internet and to open up dialogues and conversations with other people that you would never meet, out in the real world. And I find that it's just super nice, and it always sparks my curiosity, because I'm someone that's always super interested in, regardless of like what topic we're talking about. I've always been curious in a wide variety of things. So I'm super grateful, to be able to do this, and to be able to have these conversations with you guys. So anyways, moving on. What other ideas do I want to kind of build upon, as this is the last stream of the year? How was when was my first stream? That's a good question. When did I start all of this shenanigans? So when was live stream number 1? Just to put some context into this. So March 13th. Oh wow. So early in 2021 I actually started this. So the first one, so I did 2 in March, 1 in April, 1 in May, 2 in June, 2 in July, 2 in August, 2 in September, 2 in October, 2 in November, then 1 in December. Wow, so I've been pretty consistent since March. Just no live stream in January or February. So we started this in the middle of March. Wow, the first one was 2 hours and 36 minutes. Second one was 3 hours. Now, these are some super long live streams. Oh my gosh. This is why I love the internet. Sometimes I chat with a guy named Derek who lives in Canada. I never seen him in real life, but it doesn't matter. Hey, dude, maybe one day, when all the COVID stuff ends, I'll come to France one day. Who knows? You never know. And maybe we can chat in real life. But yeah, stuff like this is super awesome. Like there's another guy I met when I streamed on Twitch for a little bit. This guy Augusto from Brazil, and he comes by every once in a while, and it's great talking to him. Like talking to someone that lives in South America, and he has a twin. It's like it's so cool because I gain this perspective on how other people live in other countries. And this is like a huge problem that we have here in North America. It's like we live this sheltered life in Canada and the US, where it's almost as if the outside world doesn't exist. Like, yeah, Europe is right over there, and Asia and Russia or whatever is out to the west, and somewhere in the bottom is Australia, right? And below us, yeah, there's Mexico, but we're probably fine in North America. And it's this idea of broadening your knowledge and your understanding of the world with learning about other countries and learning about other people and culture out there, and realizing that we're not that different. We all kind of want the same things in life. We want to be happy, we want to be loved, we want to be safe. It's all, and we're all just people, right? And I always love just talking to people that have grown up with vastly different perspectives and lifestyles that I grew up in. And it's just super interesting to me to hear about stories from people who grew up on the complete other side of the world, right? And I don't know, it's it sort of makes me happy, like it gives me perspective and joy, and reinforces this idea of gratitude that I'm always trying to tell myself, because again, this moment that we have right now on this planet, it's super short, right? None of our lives are guaranteed. We don't know when this ride is going to end, and so I feel like it's even more important to just take advantage of these life experiences you have, and just learn as much as you can. Meet as many people as you can, and talk to as many awesome people as you can as well, and just learn new things, right? And this is what makes it super fun for me, and I do get a chance to kind of ramble on about ideas and thoughts that I have, and to speak it out into the abyss of the internet. But also, just every once in a while getting a question, from you guys is super interesting, and I can find out things that I've never learned before. So super exciting, Baptiste. I echo what you said too. It's great talking to some guy named Baptiste who lives in France, who I never would have known about. Oh, there was something you told me that I googled, and that I googled last week, and then I went down like a rabbit hole. Oh, what was it? It was like oh, what was it called? It was like the crypts of France, or there's some. Is it like catacombs or crypts in France, where there's like all these underground tunnels with like skeletons? And are you the one that told me that? It must be you, right? Because I don't know anyone else from France, unless it was like in a Nathaniel Drew video or something. But anyways, the other day I went down this crazy rabbit hole about the French French catacombs. Sorry, I say France. It's France, right? France? I don't know. I'm bad at pronunciation, but French catacombs? I think that's what I was researching. Oh, catacombs of Paris. That's what it was. I went down this crazy Wikipedia rabbit hole the other day of Les Innocents Cemetery in 1550. Paris's former stone quarries. Wow, established in 1810. I can't say this name. Palace den Rochereau. Oh my god, it's an embarrassing attempt at French. Yeah, the French catacombs in Paris. I can't remember if you told me about this or someone else did, but I found out about it, and it was just like wild. I can't believe this is something that it exists, and you can kind of go see it, I guess. And there's like a huge part of it that's you sort of can't really discover or go through anymore. I found it to be super interesting. Because when you look up the pictures, there's like walls where it's just like all skulls of like people who died. It's like crazy. I wish I could speak French. It's wild. One day, Baptiste, when my daughter grows up, we're going to have her go to French immersion school. So my daughter's going to be able to speak French. So maybe she can teach me something one day. But yeah, that's something that that I'm really keen on. Because especially in Canada, like French is huge here. Because we have French is officially our second language, and we learn it basically all the way from grade school up to grade 9, I think, is the last year where it's mandatory that you have to take French. And then after you turn 15, it becomes optional. But yeah, there's like, if you want like a government of Canada job and all of that, like learning French is huge. No, I'm not sure that it was me. There's also a very famous cemetery in France that you can visit in Paris. The Father Lachaise. I can't say that. So I'm gonna Google that. I have no idea how to say that. Paris Lachaise Cemetery. Oh, interesting. Whoa. That looks crazy. There's like, what do you call those? There's all these like little, they look like little tombs, like little tool sheds. Oh, wow. That looks wild. Oh, and it's like above ground too. This is super interesting. I don't know what you call those. I guess it's like a tomb, but it's like a little building. Oh, that's super interesting. Huh. So anyways, I'm just using Google Images for these cemeteries in Paris. It looks wild. It's kind of cool because like Paris has like such rich history in the world. Well, this thing has hours of operation. It says open Saturdays 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. So they have like business hours that you can go visit. Huh. Super interesting. Where in France is this? So central, north? Huh. Europe is super cool. But yeah, I don't know who told me that. So if it wasn't you, maybe it was like a YouTube video that I randomly discovered, and then it kind of went me on down this rabbit hole of French history and these catacombs and stuff. I just find it crazy you can go in them. Like they're so like ancient, but like you can actually go and see them. That's what's crazy to me. It looks so wild. That's definitely not a place you want to go if you're like claustrophobic or anything. I wonder why like it was made like that. Maybe it was Forrest. Oh yeah, maybe it was. Yeah, she's super knowledgeable with like a lot of stuff. Yeah, maybe it was Forrest. I guess Forrest is busy. She wasn't able to make the stream today, which is okay. It was fine. I always like talking to you guys. Batiste, you and Forrest especially. You guys are super interesting. I think it's also because like where we live, it's like so different. But man, like I don't know when you're gonna even be able to travel. You know what sucks? I had a vacation planned with my parents. We were gonna go to Hawaii in February. So in 2 months, I was gonna, because my parents were tired, and I was gonna like go on them for vacation, and because of all this Omicron COVID stuff, and there's all these travel restrictions, and if you do travel, you risk at not being let back into the country, and you might get stuck. And this whole traveling situation kind of got me down. I won't be able to do that. So I wonder when we'll be able to travel safely again, but I don't even know. If you want a scary and odd place to visit in France, there is an abandoned village named Oradour-sur-Glane. Oh man, super interesting. Abandoned village. Oh, am I gonna be scared? My curiosity always gets the best of me. I always want to see what's going on. Oh, whoa, there's like a black and white picture of children. What the heck? Holocaust. Whoa. What is this? Oh, there was a massacre? Oh, it was part of World War II. Wow, victims 643 French civilians, June 10th, 1944. Oradour-sur-Glane in France. Perpetrators were Nazi Germany. Oh, that's horrible. Oh, that's terrible. Oh my gosh. So it was like it was massacred in World War II. Oh, so if you look up the pictures, it's just like, oh, I see why you're saying it's like a abandoned village. It's like a ghost town almost. Wow, that's so scary. That's so sad too. See, again, that's something that that we have to be grateful for. Like war, like imagine living in the 40s, going through war, and like people could just come through your city and just kill your loved ones and set things on fire, and the sheer destruction is out of this world. You have a very strange feeling visiting this place. During World War II, the Nazis slaughtered civilians in response to sabotage from the French resistance. Oh, wow. So it was a reactive response to the French resistance, and they went and they slaughtered civilians. Dude, that's wild. Oh my gosh. That's terrible. See, this is a crazy thing too. Like this wasn't that long ago, right? Like think about it. 1944. That's what, 77 years ago? 77 years ago. So like there's people that are still alive today that lived through that, right? Like obviously they were kids, but still, like when you think about how recent that is, that's so crazy. like even for me, like 10 years later, 10 years from Nazis killing 643 civilians, 10 years after that, my parents were born. Like that's how recent of a thing. Like, and we forget, like we forget how recent like World War II like really was. That's so crazy. Yikes. The worst part about whenever I look up World War II stuff is when you see like the Allied countries, you see like the United States, you see France and the UK, but then when you look at the Axis, you see like Germany and Japan and Italy, and like those are those are all my background ethnicities, and I always feel weird about that. I'm just like, oh man, it's rough. That's crazy. But yeah, you have anything else going on, Batiste? I'm probably going to end the stream a little short today. I got a lot of work I want to kind of work on after the stream. Got some people over too, so I might end the stream shortly. I have Jewish origins, so I realize that I'm so lucky for not living in France. Oh wow, really? Dang, bro. It's like exactly, like it puts things into perspective, right? Like me and you right now, like we're living in a time where like there is no fear to be alive. There's no enemy outside that's coming to get us and kill us and perform mass genocides, because of where we're from. There's like none of that. This is like one of the safest times, well, aside from COVID, right? But like, we're living in one of the best times ever, right? And we don't have to worry about world wars or any of this craziness, and it puts things into perspective, right? I find myself saying that word a lot, putting things into perspective. I feel like this is like a reoccurring theme for me with ideas that I'm coming across. But yeah, anyways, Batiste, super cool chatting with you. Is this a pretty quiet stream today, but it's all good. But either way, Batiste, wish you all the best. With Christmas, with your family, whatever you plan on doing, enjoy your time off, enjoy the New Year's. Do you have like an Instagram? Batiste, if you have an Instagram account or something, reach out to me. Add me or whatever. I have a link on my page, but yeah, Merry Christmas, dude. I'm gonna end this stream. All the best in the new year, and I'll see you probably the second week of January. So take care, dude. And then for everyone else that made it, thanks for watching the stream, guys, and we'll see you next time. Peace.